Looks like we should be all set there. Alright, back on tour. Now here's a reminder on how to stay safe from our conductor, Rich Little. 1 second.
This Cowboy Biker Adventures Part 4 of the Conch train through Key West tour. It's a 360 video, so rotate your view.
Alright guys, here we go. Okay, remember to add to that, no glass containers, no vaping, as well as we're a form of public transportation. Be sure to hold on to your personal items. If anything happens to fall off the train, we won't be able to stop for you as a DOT standard. Traveling down the world famous Duval Street, named after William Pope Duval, famous first civilian governor. Street nicknamed the longest street in the world by Robert Ripley. The reason he said that, well, it's 14 blocks in length, but separates two large bodies of water, the Atlantic Ocean and Gulf of Mexico. Not quite. As we can find over 117 bars within the 14 blocks. On the left-hand side, the Sloppy Joe Russell Bar. Within the location down the street you'll find today, Captain Tony Saloon, the oldest bar in South Florida. Sloppy's from 1933 to 37. That was Hemingway's favorite hangout spot, the original down the street there. Everything was moved to your left one afternoon. Total disagreement. To stay at the old spot increased by way too much. Staple bar patrons instructed, pack up the booze, carry the furniture, we're getting out of there. That's exactly what they did. Hemingway actually helped move some of that stuff. But they say he took a latrine out of the bathroom and put it in the Hemingway home. That latrine is now in the garden area, uses a water con for the 6-toed cat. Alright, you guys. And again, if you want to get back to this area here, the world famous Duval Street, we got a couple stops at Stop B. That's for the just at the end of Duval.
I hope the music messes
our
up.
station we just left, you guys. Now we'll be back in time to finish on the tour. Just enough time to catch that last one that leaves at 4:30 if you want to come back to the area, folks. Now we'll be passing by the Hard Rock Cafe and the Helen Curry Museum. Oh, no, they have third Curry Mansions here in the island. Now, Pete Curry Mansion goes back a little bit later into the tour. We're going to show you the Wedding Cake Mansion a little bit later. Caroline's Cafe, great open air diner. You guys want to come out and get a bite to eat? Just on your right hand side there. Now the oldest house museum is our next point coming up on our right. It is the oldest house in South Florida, built back in 1829. Moved to this location here on your right hand side in 1832. This is the home of Captain Francis Wallington. He lived there with his wife Emmeline and a total of 9 little girls they had with each other. I like the amount of kids. Now the little girls are said to attend school nearby their house on your right hand side. 1868 is the oldest schoolhouse. Look at the roof there, the port ceiling. You see the old school bell still sits just at the top. Another thing I didn't mention, you guys, but when we get back, we're going to go to the historic district on Fleming. If you start to look at these circular plaques on your right hand side with that golden star in the middle, they're very, very special awards for these old town structures. There's a few requirements in order to receive it from the Historic Foundation, the Florida Keys Historic Society, but if you meet those requirements, you are presented with that very special award. Now across the street on the left-hand side is St. Paul's Episcopal Church, built back in 1832. It is the oldest Episcopal in South Florida and now open to the public. It is a port to be built on the ground, destroyed 3 times by 2 severe hurricanes, twice by 2 severe hurricanes, once by what was called the Great Fire of 1886, built on the land of John W.C. Fleming, an early settler of Key West. Alright guys, so let's continue on to the tour here. We've got the La Concha Hotel coming up, once known as the Crown Plaza. This opened up in 1920. Tallest building on the island, folks. Oh, tallest building in Old Town. About 6 stories up. Now the famous playwright Tennessee Williams once stayed here at the La Concha Hotel, where he rewrite the play A Streetcar Named Desire. Alright, that is the La Concha Hotel on your right hand side. Now as we continue traveling down Duval Street, you'll start to see the sign for Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville. Again, that would be the sign here on our right hand side if you're looking for your cheeseburger in paradise today. Perhaps a change of attitude, put some attitude as we continue to remember the late and great Jimmy Buffett may continue to rest in paradise. That's inside again, Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville.
I had lunch there earlier today.
Right hand side actually, sorry.
And I also had Sloppy
San Carlos
Joe's
Institute is in the area
on Wednesday.
Here on your right hand side, 1876. San Carlos Institute designed to look exactly like the City Hall in Havana, Cuba. Alrighty guys, that's also what we'll talk about the Great Fire a little bit later. Now it's the old Strand Theater, the fanciest Walgreens around. Second tour attraction of Key West, it's built 1946. It displays Rococo architecture, very common in Cuba. It was designed by a local architect, Juan Carbonell. Alright guys, let's take a right here going on to Southern, back on the Southern Street. We're going to head in front of the courthouse once more. Yeah, you miss your chance to take a picture of that mile marker 0 sign. Have those cameras ready.
I did a short on the mile 0 earlier today.
Alright guys, if you get on the left hand side here, we got the Green Parrot Bar, 1868. This is originally the bar here, now known as the first and last bar on Route US 1, local and visitor favorite. But it was a grocery store owned by father and son Anthony and Mario Sanchez. As time would progress, in the 50s, during the Cuban Missile Crisis, this was a Navy hangout, bunker-like hangout spot. They called it the Brown Derby. Alright guys, again we got the Green Parrot Bar here to your left-hand side. We're going to go back onto Whitehead Street. Again, if you miss your chance to take that picture of mile 0, it is coming up. Now remember, I did mention that sign was stolen it is stolen quite often. So like I said, you're going to find what is called the end of the rainbow here in front of the courthouse. That is a wooden sign that is in the ground, just in case anyone gets sticky fingers again.
There's the roosters over there. You're always going to either see them or hear them throughout this whole town. I understand it's a $500 fine to harm one and it's a $1,000 fine to kill one. Guy said earlier, that's why you don't see any KFCs on the island. I thought it was cute.
Okay, just over to your left, you'll see the massive, the end of the rainbow and the massive K-pop tree. Not indigenous to Key West. Very unique, however, you'll see that the roots are above the surface rather than into the ground there. In the earlier days, the shipwreckers found the K-pop trees had these seed pods that were quite buoyant enough to use an early form of a flotation device. They were using them seed pods there. So here it is again, folks, the mile 0 sign. Just at the paradox of Key West.
And the
souvenirs. Right now back on Fleming Street. I'd like to take this time to tell you a little bit about the Encore train, the very first sightseeing service of Key West. The Encore train again began through the Ville of Coal, January 22nd, 1958. And when they started the train, they only had one tour vehicle to take you out around the island. It was train number 97. That same train still gives some tours here in Key West today. Very successful with the company. First couple years they opened up, started averaging thousands of passengers annually. That wasn't too bad. Time would progress, and they would eventually sell the company. The Conch train was sold to Historic Tours of America in the 70s. But Bill and Cole sold the company and they began to travel the world, visiting different cities and nations across. And they would run into former business of the island. They told them how much they loved Key West and also the Conch train. And that was the money there, folks. They figured they should consider the Conch train a local attraction as we were now becoming known worldwide. Now, the Conch train today is owned and operated through Historic Tours of America. We are the nation's storytellers.
They own the trolleys here in town, trolley tour. I did that in Washington, D.C. in 360 and put those videos
We're
up.
passing by a beautiful Bahama house. We'd like to mention the architecture of these wooden construction homes on the island. Again, an official example of what is called a Bahama house. In the earlier days, once again, before the widespread use of air conditioning, this is a way to keep the insides of your homes cooler. The balconies and the porches would push the house sort of further back there. Again, the design of it was to keep the inside of the homes cooler in the hot, brutal summers of Key West. Now, about one block from here, we're going to pass by a little cottage-like bungalow that is known as a zigzag house. And the way that they're designed, well, just like a zigzag. the rooftop forms it at least. The first cottage is a lot larger than the other two that sit behind it. The idea is that your family grew in the earlier days, they would attach another wooden structure to the already home that was existing. You got to give you more space. So again, zigzag is here to your left-hand side, you guys. You'll notice how the roof forms that pattern just at the top. And again, looking at our rooftops, all of them being metal or tin, as I mentioned, they are used for fire protection and for collecting rainwater in the earlier days. Some of the buildings still have their cisterns behind them. Again, these little cement tanks, they can store up to like 6,000 gallons of collected rainwater. And as you know, the way it works, the water runs down the roof, collects into the gutter, and poured through a pipe into a massive tank. Our fresh water now comes to the mainland, fed through our water pipeline, you guys. So it's still very useful to have them if anything happens to that pipe. We don't have fresh water until it's fixed, so very resourceful. Let's take a left here. And we got the eyebrow up there, we got the eyebrow, the Bahama house, and something that is called an eyebrow house, a QS creation. As we take a left here onto Grinnell Street, I'd like to point that out to you. Again, it is considered to be a QS creation. If you look here, you'll see what they call it an eyebrow. The top part of the roof sort of overlaps the front porch patio. The depth of it makes it look like an eyebrow there. Just on the left-hand side, you guys. You also see that royal blue flag with a yellow sun in the middle. That is the flag of Key West, folks, the flag of the Conch Republic. Bit of a story behind that there, you guys. The Conch Republic, born out of a response of the United States Border Patrol blockade. A blockade in which set up when the federal government received credible information that illegal contraband was being introduced into Key West by the truckload. So, and then put a stop to it. There was a blockade that was set up with they were stopping traffic that was entering the Florida Keys, searching vehicles to back traffic up for hours. The mayor at the time, Dennis Wardlow, understood how the island would. And by not having anyone visit, well, not only Key West, but Florida Keys in general, it could decimate the economy. Affirmative action had to be taking place to get the restrictions lifted on the checkpoint. The county commissioner folks, the chief of police, the sheriff, and mayor would get together and came up with a list of demands to get these restrictions lifted. But however, none of those demands were met. Maxa answered, as Key West was being treated like an independent country, we decided to declare our own independence. By doing so, we also declared war on the United States with a small attack on the naval base. The local choice of weapon to go to war with the United States Navy was a stale loaf of bread. They had a naval officer with it. It was considered to be a legitimate act of war. We immediately surrendered to the same exact naval officer at the time of the attack. Since it surrendered to the United States during a time of war, Key West was then able to apply for foreign aid in the amount of $1 billion. We never received it, due to a term of the surrender. The whole thing was staged a big publicity stunt. We wanted national coverage on the incident to get help on the blockade being lifted. And it worked, folks. It went national, and we found that the blockade was unconstitutional. It was lifted April 21st, 1982, and visitors were able to come back down to the island. Since legal succession documents were filed, Key West is still considered the Conch Republic. At the bottom of our flag, you'll see the little motto there, we succeeded when others failed. Now, if you'd like to take one of these flags back with you as a souvenir, you guys, here at this stop, you can head to Max Seagarden and purchase one, or wait till we get back to Mallory. Head over to the Sponge Warehouse, or the show spot there too. Anybody hopping on for stop D? If so, please watch your step. Hold on to the handrails, and remember, the next train's going to be back in about 30 minutes. The last train will be back in this area around 5:30, you guys, around 5:30.
Okay, I'm going to hold right here.
We should be all set here.
This is still part 4.
Our next stop is going to be Station A. Stop A, Mallory Square, to finish off the tour for today.
We'll go back where we started to complete the
tour. And
tour.
remember, folks, we'll be in the area of Mallory Square in enough time for you to take the last tour leaving at 4:30. Now, unfortunately, our Sales to Rails Museum is currently, well, it's not closed up yet. They're going to be shutting down shop around 4:30. If you haven't had the chance, or if they didn't mention to you, remember, when you bought your ticket for the train, free admission into the Sales to Rails. And if you didn't get a chance, come out and see us tomorrow. We'll try to accommodate. It's going to give you the opportunity to journey to the age of the historic shipwreck industry. Excuse me, also laying out what it took for the island hero, Henry Pilot, to build and complete the East Coast Railroad. Alright, here's a little somebody here folks how to stay safe on the train.
Hey, champ, I want the truth. Can you handle the truth? Life is grand. We're on the ride of our lives, man. Listen, you better stay in your seats. And hey, don't smoke your booze in this ride. This ain't
Shit, all bar.
And listen, try to keep your arms, legs, and the rest
Eat
of
it
your
raw.
body
Alright, you got the half shell raw bar there on your right hand side, you guys.
You might want to keep
Been around for plus 40 years.
and branches.
And a small body of water on your right hand side, surrounded by land, one small opening, proves to be a bite. Not like a bite out of an apple. B-I-G-H-T. A bite, again, small body of water surrounded by land with one small opening. Tons of them here on the island, you guys. Now let's make our way around the spot here. We're going to pass by the Cuban Coffee Clean. Alongside, you're going to find this largest postcard on the island. Taken by a local artist, Lady Nowak. I can appreciate the local artist's artwork around the island here. Not a local artist at the next building, but very beautiful. The mural image along the entire structure is meant to depict the marine animals you'll find in our surrounding waters of the Florida Keys. It is known as a whaling wall, painted by artist Weiland. Now, he completed most of his artwork throughout the years 1981 and 2008. That's number 52 here. And by the way, the Weiland Art Gallery is on the 500 block of Wall Street. Check them out, you guys. The Whaling Wall. Now, the Scooter Wharf Bar is down the right there. You see the sign for it? Taking a left onto Lazy Way Lane will get you to the spot. Scooter Wharf Bar, known as the last slice of Old Key West. They've been in the area since, well, for quite some time, the late 1800s. Earliest happy hour on the island, live music in the evening at the Scooter Wharf Bar, 7 a.m. in the morning. Now, the Red Door Saloon is here to your left. Still has iconic red doors and shutters. Never would imagine that building was once considered to be the roughest bar along the Gulf Coast. It was infamously given the nickname the Bucket of Blood for the brutal fights that broke outside. Now, these fights were between pirates, really shipwreckers and sailors. They didn't get along too well. Spending weeks out onto the sea deprived of the 3 W's, women, wine, and whiskey. They overindulged near the left-hand side of the building once, operating as a brothel. And the fights were so brutal, they say before you would enter, you would search for weapons. And if you didn't have one, they gave you one at the entrance to give you a fair chance. Alright, now we're going to continue traveling down the road here, folks. Now see if we can get our soundbite up here for the records of Jimmy Buffett. Again, he visited the island quite often, you guys. Mr. Buffett once stayed in a small spot here above the Red Door. The story is that you notice some woman walking down the road that was having a bit of a rough day. They ended up writing a song about some woman going crazy on Caroline Street. But as I mentioned, it looks like my soundbite doesn't have that one today. That's okay. Again, traveling down Millionaires Row here, Caroline Street, the area is where the wealthiest families would reside in the earlier days. Still do technically, but we're going to be passing by a lot of these vacation rental homes. One block up the street, we'll be in the area of the Wedding Cake Mansion. That is the William Curry Mansion Inn. Today, that's a bed and breakfast, 20 bedrooms, prices, antiques, and each room to be explored. Again, we'll give you some history about William Curry after he approached the beautiful mansion, folks. It is said that he arrived to the island in 1837 from the Bahamas, after receiving incredible information. This island was a gold mine. He wasn't misinformed. It was in the 1830s the tobacco industry was introduced alongside shipwrecking. He was a businessman himself, folks, when he arrived to the island, and he built the first American tobacco factory. That's the William Curry and Sons Tobacco Factory, today Hemingway Rum Company down the street. We showed you that a little bit earlier in the tour. Alright, again, the mansion coming up on our right-hand side here. This will be the beautiful Wedding Cake Mansion. I said this house was originally built in 1896, rebuilt in 1906 at the cost of $12,000. You see it right inside there. Now, the house of Dr. Joseph Yates Porter, Florida's first public health official, is here in Key West. Over here where you see the large green awnings out in the front. Oh, that's actually an umbrella. Anyway, Dr. Joseph Yates Porter first, born in that house to the left, died 80 years later in the same exact room he was born in. Now, he's over doing extensive research to the spread of yellow fever. That would eventually lead to quarantine moths helping eradicate the deadly disease when it affected the island. Again, the Porter Mansion repurposed. Now 2 very fancy little watering holes on your left-hand side there. Now up the street we'll be passing by First Flight. It is the southernmost brewery. First flight is a great spot, by the way, a little open-air diner. They have indoor seating as well in case it's a little too warm today for you. First flight, Southernmost Brewery, folks, again, is the original ticket office of Pan American World Airways. Remembering Pan Am being a plane service that carries passengers and mail from Key West to Havana, Cuba, and also responsible for the United States' first international flight. Again, guys, on the left-hand side there.
All those scooters, so what you consider a biker bar?
No, go back onto Whitehead Street. Headed to Mallory Square to finish off the tour for the day. In front of us is the Truman Annex, the Area 1's naval station. Left behind for historic purposes, you're going to see this massive tower, cement tower on our left-hand side here. This tower, folks, was used to store water back then to refuel all the steamships that pull into our port at the coaling depot just up the street today. It is the shops at Mallory Square. Again, repurpose, relocate, keep that historic value. Now in front, we have the Shipwreck Museum. You'll see the tower standing in front at the end of the square. That's where we're headed to finish off the tour. And remember, folks, that won't conclude the tours for the day quite yet. There's still one more that's going to be leaving in 15 minutes. If you'd like to join that one for the last tour of the day, it'll be leaving at 4:30 in about 15 minutes.
Okay, this is going to be the end of the
I'd
tour.
like to thank everybody for choosing the Conch train today as your sightseeing service.
Stay tuned. I'd like to show you a picture of the train.
That looks like train number 102. Frank is going to be taking you back out for the next one. Plenty of space.
Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of my keys, action and adventures.
But thanks again. Tell your family and friends to come down to the southernmost city and ride aboard the world-famous Contour train or the Old Town Trolley here at the Cayoeso. And we got the Shell Warehouse folks coming up here. Again, a little spot to get a souvenir. The Sponge Market is just there to your left. And our Memorial Sculpture Garden on our right-hand side. That's actually a little free attraction. If you look on your right, you'll see this headstones in the shipwreck monument. Headstones of the earliest settlers. They give you some information again of the earlier settlers there for you on your own time. You can take that there. Thank you again, folks. We'll see you out here in Key West. Safe travels, everyone. And please watch your step as you hop off. Hold on to the handrails. Backing down facing the train. Recommended. It's the safest way to hop off.
Let me give you a quick view of the train. Then I'll terminate this part 4 of the video. So thank you for watching. Until next time, have a good one.